G'day everyone, continuing my top 20 albums series, and this entry coming in at number 18. Certainly the most obscure of the three so far, but I make no apologies for that because it really is one of my favourite albums. It's by a band you probably haven't heard of unless you're into the sort of New York hardcore scene of the early 90s. The band is called Quicksand, and this album is their debut called Slip. Just a little bit of background about the band, led by frontman Walter Schreifels, who was in a bit of a cult band from New York called Gorilla Biscuits of the late 80s. Put together this band with guitarist Tom Capone, drummer Alan Cage, and bass player Sergio Vega. And this is their debut. What does it sound like? Well, I find it a bit hard to categorise, to be honest. Post-hardcore, I guess you might call it. Alternative metal, but certainly not in that classic metal way. If I could think of bands to compare Quicksand to, I guess the two that probably come first to mind are Helmet, another New York band, another favourite band of mine, and Fugazi, who some people watching this might know, another great band as well. That late 80s, early 90s period was terrific for US rock music, in my opinion. Anyway, this album's great. For me, it's coming in on sort of the tail end of the grunge era, but the music's a bit tighter than that and a bit heavier too. I guess those post-hardcore bands, Helmet certainly, I love the crispness of the way they deliver their material. You know, there's a real punchiness about it. Everything's tight as a drum, and that's the sort of music I love. Starts off with a bang too. The opening track, Phaser, was the lead-off single. Actually did, relatively speaking, did okay. Certainly gave them a big entree to the college rock scene, and they were pretty popular thereafter. Title track Slip is another favourite of mine. Head to Wall, the second track on the album, is a bit of a favourite. Lie and Wait, I'm just checking the song list now to remind myself. The final two tracks Too Official and Transparent are two more favourite tracks of mine. The pity with Quicksand is they didn't last long. They did a follow-up album called Manic Compression in 1995. Which also did pretty well, but they split up not long after that. But they're still around the traps in various guises. Walter Schreifels put together a band around 2000 called Rival Schools, which is actually sort of how I got into Quicksand. I heard Rival Schools first, and that led me to discover Schreifels' earlier work. That's their debut album too. I think United by Fate, I think it's called, is a terrific album too, and probably a little more commercially accessible. But Quicksand have reformed a couple of times, and they're actually doing stuff at the moment. They released another album called Interiors in 2017, which is pretty good. Actually played out here live, and I was lucky enough to see them. That's probably a couple of years ago now. But this is American rock at its finest, I reckon. Lean, tight, angular, a bit tortured sounding. Probably not happy sounds as such, this album, but it was music for the times, I think, and a good companion to a lot of those US rock albums that were coming out in the early 1990s. So I don't know how easy it is to get. Pretty sure you can download it. It's quite a short album too. It's only 39 odd minutes, but it really packs a punch. One of my favourite albums, and just repeating the details, it is Quicksand is the band, and the album is called Slip. That is number 18 on my top 20 albums. I'll see you back here soon for number 17. See you later.